Right, let's get into this video. As I was on my way here, I was contemplating whether I actually publicly upload this. However, I think I'll want to, because I think it would be quite the palate cleanser from all of these sorts of videos that I've seen that I'll get onto and talk about. Now, to get straight into the video, I'll probably call the title something along the thoughts of exactly what I thought. I don't want to get goals, I want to get healthy relationships. This is in reference to the announcement that I made a few days ago. I think it was getting on to exactly a week ago now. I made the announcement about a week ago, I think, saying that, yeah, I want to make a video on this topic, and here it is. It's finally here. So let's get into it. So the reason why I say I don't want to get girls is because I don't think ladies or men, in fact, are possessions to acquire. So I'm not interested in getting them. However, having relationships is something that I can do. It's something that I'd want to do. I've seen so many videos on YouTube talking about how to get girls, how to get her to chase you, and even on the flip side, how to get him to chase you, or other videos that I've seen on the internet. One video in particular, like why he's not committed to you or something like that. I'm not interested in all that stuff. It just seems like power chasing to me, by going out of your way to not speak to people at least as much as you'd like to, rather than, in my opinion, having the maturity to say, look man, I'm attracted to you and I'd love to go out on a date with you. You absolutely don't have to say yes. You never have to say yes, but I am interested in you in that way. Do you feel the same way, or something along those lines? Of course, I wouldn't advise anyone to say what I've just said word for word, because those words have came out of my mouth rather than from another person's mouth from within, unless that's what the person's thinking on their mind word for word before I said it, something like that. Yeah. Now, going back onto that get goals thing, it seems like it's very oriented around sex. It's very oriented around either that or sexual acts that I've seen on the internet, such as an individual going in the club and having a lady grind on him. Those sorts of videos, like how to be Chad this, Chad that. Those sorts of videos. I don't know if that's just SEO, or people really needing to take a break from the internet and needing to live more, go outside more. I know for damn sure that I would not talk like that to people in real life, talk about Chad, alpha male, beta male, red pill, blue pill, van pill, car pill, lorry pill, lamppost pill, road sign pill, all that rubbish. I know I wouldn't go about talking to people like that, so I'm just not going to use those sorts of words either here. Very specifically in the way where I'd say I want to be an alpha male, or I want to be a Chad, or I don't want to be a beta male. I'm yet to hear someone say I want to be a beta. That's just quite interesting. But anyway, going back to the topic at hand. As for this healthy relationships thing now, I think well, it's in the name. It's healthy. It's these sorts of relationships. I'm not talking about just romantic. I'm talking about platonic as well. The sorts of relationships where the environment's emotionally safe, where you don't feel naked emotionally, or even worse, feel like you've been stripped naked emotionally, which I've experienced in the past. not romantically, but even recently with family, with something going on in a serious conversation that me and family members had with me. Now, in a healthy relationship, I'd much rather have that than focus solely on sex focus solely on wanting to interact with ladies because I'd want to have sex with them and use them for sex, basically. Because that's not all an individual man or woman, boy or girl, has to offer. It absolutely isn't. I mean, we do this get goals thing. It doesn't take into account that, or it doesn't necessarily, I should say, it doesn't necessarily take into account that these people you'd be wanting to get and that you'd be teaching yourself that you see them as possessions, these people, they do have thoughts and feelings just like how you do. And they aren't real life sex dolls. It's not porn live. These individuals, man or woman, is not just Pornhub or Brazzers live on a stick, metaphorically speaking. It's not that. People have these people that you'd be seeing as possessions would be the same people that have thoughts and feelings just like you. As I've said, that have hobbies just like you, that have deep thoughts just like you. And in my opinion, even as I think about it on the spot, wanting to have a healthy relationship, in my opinion, is a lot more of a holistic approach to interacting with individuals in a healthy way, rather than just wanting to get them, seeing as you be thinking about more than just sex or sexual acts. For example, say an individual revealing photos, or again, like that, the club scenario, or maybe even say like where I'm at now, just sat on a bench with a lady on my lap and me just rubbing her thighs, just thinking sexual thoughts and rubbing my hands closer and closer to her crotch or something like that. Just sexual stuff in general. That can only go so far. Some people might want that. I mean, like me, for example, I know that if I want to check myself, I might want that. I might want to like how they would say, get girls. If I didn't have the ability to think for myself, due to my needs for physical affection not being met at home. Can't remember the last time I got a hug from family members. However, that's not involuntary. There's something that I've done to myself because of serious conversations. I don't want that, but I'm just saying that people could be going out of their way to have as much sex as they possibly can because these sorts of things are going on, which a healthy relationship would address. However, getting goals wouldn't necessarily address the fact that, hey, the reason why I'm being so touchy-feely is because I'm not getting enough physical affection at home. Of course, not sexual, just hugs. Literally, just something as simple as a hug. That's a long, loving, caring hug. I'm not getting that at home, so I'm getting that somewhere else. The needs must be met, and they'll never go away. For as long as I'm alive, they'll never go away. So I'm doing what I have to do for needs to be met, even if it's through not necessarily the most healthy of means, like using ladies for sex, or maybe even on the flip side, using guys for sex and sex alone. Potentially, for ladies that could be, and for guys too, but ladies might see sex as just a fucking chuck sort of thing, because they might think that they might say that they've been hurt so many times. Maybe quite a few individuals have cheated on them in a relationship, or in their mind they have anyway, something like that. By that I mean, say, they didn't make the dating relationship official, but then the man's had gone and had sex with another lady. That's what I mean. But there might have been a misunderstanding where the lady thought that they were in a monogamous official relationship, whereas the guy was just trying to get needs met. Of course, the opposite can happen as well. It's not just one-sided. The sea does cut both ways. But I'm just saying. Wow. I don't feel happy that I'm making this video and going to be uploading it publicly. I feel more at peace. And I'd rather feel more at peace than feel happy that I'm doing this. Or relieved, I should say, rather. Because it's a video idea that I've really been wanting to put out there, and I'm finally doing it. This isn't the end of the video, by the way. I think I will make it longer. But yeah, man. Even though, rather ironically, the subscriber count's at 69, the subscriber count is increasing. More people, or more accounts, I should say. They could be bots, are clicking the subscribe button, and more people are watching. And because of that, I think the reason why I might have hesitated towards, or contemplated whether I'd upload this, is because you don't know who could say what, not only online but in the street after long enough. I don't think these videos would get that noticed to the point where people recognize me on the street, and I wouldn't want that either. I don't need it. I'm going out my way to make friends. I'm making friendships right now. I don't need or want random people coming up to me on the internet, who've watched me on the internet, and who are wanting to talk about things that I've gone and said. But yeah, anyway, getting back to the topic at hand. Getting girls. There's another term called on the pull as well. But I don't really hear ladies say getting guys, saying they want to get guys. Maybe on like TV shows you might hear ladies say, oh, I'm on the pull or something like that. But I'm not interested in that way of life. I don't want it. That's not me. This is me. Wanting healthy relationships. Not wanting to orient all of my interactions that I'd have with ladies around sex somehow, some way. I don't want to be the sort of individual where I can't see past a lady's sexuality or sexual potential. When I say sexual potential, I'm talking about attractiveness, sexual attractiveness physically. In a romantic relationship, orienting the interactions solely on sex or sexual acts is it's way too short-sighted. These people that we might be wanting sex from, and only sex from, are people with thoughts and feelings, which would most likely sooner or later come out after the oxytocin release that you both would have had after having sex, rather ironically. It's like the relationship equivalent of, if I stab you in your head, don't die. That was a bit morbid, apologies for that. But I'm just saying, the oxytocin release you get from having sex would increase the likelihood that you'd want to have a deeper connection with that individual, or individuals if you're having a polygamous relationship, depending on what you're doing. That would most likely make you want to have a deeper connection with that person past sex, but yet you just be wanted to use them for sex. Even, I think, just with that in mind, I don't think, even down to a chemical level, we're built for that sort of stuff. And that could be why individuals who dabble in what seem to be called the hookup culture would want to come off it sooner or later, or what the house pill or bridge pill would call the 304 phase. Isn't it quite interesting that they'd have a specific term for ladies going through this sort of phase? However, they don't have a male equivalent for that, as far as I'm aware anyway. Anyway, yeah, man. I really like where I'm heading. It's obvious to me. I mean, I have a slight smile on my face. I physically feel like I would have smiled more than I am now, but I don't need to overdo it. That's not to put up a facade on camera to try and smile less, to look less like I'm feeling less happy, but nah, I just don't feel like doing that right now. So, yeah, man, I was saying, that's what I'm about. It's not just about sex, man. Even if we are going in the realm of sex, for example, right? And you're thinking about sex and sex alone, you might not actually take the necessary look that you need to take at their character to see, oh, hold on a sec, this person's a liar. This person could even be lying about their sexual health. This person might not actually be on the pill even though they say they are. This person might actually have herpes or other things like that even though they say they don't. Or just STDs in general. This person might have all of this stuff, but seeing as they would be so oriented on getting sex for whatever reason, they don't actually check to see, oh, no, something's not right. There's just something, no pun intended, fishy about this person's character. Hopefully not fishy physically, but it genuinely could be that way for some individuals due to that level of neglect, I'd assume. Due to that level of not taking care of themselves, which again, you might not really want to take a look at if you're only focused on having sex with the person. Getting girls and even getting guys doesn't, past a certain point, if you're already doing that, how fruitful can that relationship be? Seriously. I say that to imply that it can't be that fruitful, but some people might actually find it that way. Some people might. Like for example, they might want to go to this individual for sex, and predominantly sex, and then they might go to another individual for more of a intimate relationship and etc. So it might, in their opinion, work that way. Maybe not, I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of just waffling. Okay. I want to talk about healthy relationships. I have a couple of ways of how I want to go about it. One being healthy relationships with other people and healthy relationships with yourself, which again, wanting to have sex and predominantly only wanting to have sex would not take into account. So you could be up to some fuckery and you wouldn't even know it, because you're only thinking about sex over and over and over. I probably said that word over 50 times at this point, but yeah. I'll go about wanting to talk about healthy relationships with myself to begin with. Oh, with self, not with myself and with other people having healthy relationships with themselves. Yeah, I'll talk about that, because from memory, I don't really hear people talking about that when I hear or would watch videos about wanting to get girls or to get guys. In order to have healthy relationships, it's a must, in my opinion, to have a healthy relationship with yourself. At least eventually. Because that would affect your way of life in every way. How you think about yourself, how you think about your family members, how you think about your partners or lack thereof, and how you think about your colleagues too. Having a healthy relationship or not having a healthy relationship could completely change how things go. Words have a lot of power, you know. A lot of power. Words could have you killed. Words could have you killing someone. Words aren't a joke. Words and belief in your words aren't a joke. Words outside of genetics could also determine your physical composition. As I said, outside of genetics. And I'm talking about the progress that you make on your body, like with exercising, whether it be in a gym and or a calisthenics park and or just a park and or at home, etc. Words aren't a joke. And to go back to what I was saying, the words that you hold with belief to yourself will almost certainly, if not certainly, determine how fruitful your life is at the end, from start to finish. With that in mind, how you talk to yourself will determine, or at least almost certainly determine, how you go about speaking to other people as well. That's obvious. Past a certain age, that's obvious. I'm not saying anything, in my opinion, I'm not saying anything that nobody doesn't know already. Like, this is known. How you think about yourself is how you think about other people as well. That's not something that's difficult to understand. If you think of yourself like crap, you most likely, almost certainly, will think of other people's like crap as well. That's not difficult to understand. That's where your mental state is at. And the same goes for the other way around too. If you treat yourself if you think about yourself in a healthy way and you treat yourself with care, with love, you've got to go about doing that for other people as well, and for who you'd consider the right people too. Trustworthy people who have shown that they're trustworthy, people who have shown that they're genuine, well-meaning, benevolent, etc. people who not only have your best interests at heart, but theirs too. And that's not in a cunning or deceptive, malicious way. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. And that's not in a malicious way either. That's in a pleasant way, a loving way. I don't think there's much love in just wanting to get girls though, because it's oriented around sex, as I've been saying over and over and over again, not around romance. There's a difference. For example, two individuals might make love and have passion for each other. They love each other, they have love for each other, they care for each other. However, you can still have sex without that. That's what goes on in the porn sites, I'd imagine. I wouldn't know though, because I haven't had first-hand experiences of being on a porn site, but I'd imagine it's pretty obvious. Pornography, being a pornographic actor comes with pay. And some hella messed up stuff would be going on there as well too, I'd imagine. I think on the internet I've heard stories about like ladies being like trapped or something, like them, very basically them not wanting to be a part of the production but being forced to, basically, and them trying to, or basically getting kidnapped to be a part of the production. But listen to that wording though. It's not seen as an intimate, passionate act. It's a fucking set. It's a movie. It's a movie set. It's a production. And maybe this getting girls thing is basically the same way, but just without the cameras. Now that I think about it, I'm changing how I think about this sort of stuff on the spot right now. Forget that, man. I don't want that. I don't want that for myself. There's so much. I'll just put it like this. I'd much rather intimacy than viewing sex as just a movie production, like how they do with the porn sites. Or maybe like how people do with semen retention videos, but just on a less intense level. Alright, I think I'm not done thinking about this, but I think I'm done for today. I'll leave it at that. Less than half an hour is enough. So on that note, cheers to doing as I say I want to do. Cheers to having this video come out. Even though I was contemplating it, it absolutely was worth it, I think, because I now feel at peace after saying this, and I feel more comfortable openly admitting my ways of thinking to the public, seeing as people, I think, more healthily open, not excessively, but more healthily open. Of course, it will come with boundaries. This openness will come with boundaries, of course, but yeah, I think after making this video, I've now worked through and at least overcame some fear or contemplation minimum, concern minimum, about openly admitting, not admitting, that's not the right word, openly talking about such things in public on the internet. Yeah. Alright, I'm done. This is it. It's going to be the end of the video. Cheers to thinking in a more healthy way in every aspect of life, including this one as well. And this is me signing out. Cheers to Pro-Style. Cheers to the Pro-Style made with this way of thinking today. I'm come up with new ways of thinking, as I've just said, or mentioned earlier a few seconds ago. And cheers to adding onto it tomorrow. Peace.